Emissions of greenhouse gases need to peak within the next 3 years if we're to stave off the worst effects of climate change. And even then, we still need new technology to suck carbon dioxide out of the sky.
Calamity, landslides, improper waste management, protests. Is this the world we choose to live in? Throughout the years, even as early as the 1960s, global warming has always been a problem. Us humans are the leading contributors of these emissions, which over time damages the environment and drastically causes climate change. Rising temperatures favor agricultural pests and diseases that could affect crop production, especially during El Niño and La Niña. Projects from UNHCR and CFSI gave out solar dryers in the region of SDG13 to avoid spoilage of their new harvests due to the effects of climate changes. According to the website Climate Clock, only 7 years until climate change becomes irreversible. When will we realize our limited time? When will we truly take action? As the ice caps at the North and South Poles melt due to global warming, a phenomenon in which extreme carbon emissions damage the ozone layer, which causes extreme sunlight and UV exposure, the sea levels are rising at a rapid rate. According to a study conducted by Climate Central, approximately 150 million people currently live in areas that are expected to be submerged by 2050, with Southeast Asia, including the Philippines, accounting for roughly 70% of those at risk. Because the Philippines is made up of islands, many people live along the coast. When you add in the low elevation of much of the land, you have a disaster waiting to happen. Recently, a tropical storm Meggy hit the Philippines and caused a landslide that was reported to have killed at least 25 people in the city of Baybay in Central Leyte. This is the start of something worse if we couldn't put a stop to it. We as individuals can't truly end climate change alone, not when corporations emit greenhouse gases and pollute the environment for their own capitalistic gain. Global warming still reigns, and the people who suffer the most are those who dwell in poverty. Let us not forget the people whose houses were destroyed in floods, people who lost their loved ones, people who had nothing to eat, people who had lost everything. And if we couldn't put a stop to this now, eventually we will lose our one and only home, Earth. When will we all come together to reach out our hands to save the people in need and save Mother Earth, who are truly the ones to blame? At the heart of Davao de Oro lies Nabunturan, their capital, home to the biggest gold ring in the Philippines and its prosperous agricultural activity. However, their climates fluctuate from heat, averaging 29 degrees Celsius, but at the same time, averaging in 268 days of rain annually. In fact, just to name a few, the well-known flood Typhoon Bopha, or locally known as Bagyong Pablo, caused millions of damage and lives spent. And although that's the most impactful one, despite being a decade ago, natural disasters frequented Nabunturan, which heightened preparations and awareness against the tragedies caused by climate change. Here with us are some of the youths of Nabunturan to discuss their current circumstances and their thoughts on climate action, as well as how their community responds to it.
Ako din si Changulo Discabarte. I'm 14 years old, nakatira sa Tagum City.
Ako si Marian Gonzales, 13 years old, Davao de Oro.
Unsay epekto sa climate change sa imuha?
Lain kay ang ulan dalira kayo kabasakit niya. Sige ra siya pinit. Kaya ang mga tanong dali yung amatay.
Unsa may epekto sa climate change sa imuha?
Dako kay sige ra man og ulan, tapos wala ni tarong init pati ang mga hinalay namo, dili na mo ugag. Kuan kana sige ra ulan, wala ni tarong init.
Nindot bang epekto aning climate change sa imuha or dili?
Dili.
Dili.
Naabay mga aksyon na hitabo sa inyong lugar na nagatabang para mo improve ang sitwasyon sa climate change unsa man to?
Naa. Kay ang mga balay-balay kay lang ipiyuhan tapos ang mga palengke limpyo na kayo. Di na sila patakag labay basura.
Naa like pagliligtas sa paligo na to, paglimpyo, pagsigigit sa mga basura, ilahi ang mga cellophane, mga plastic, mga balata na tapos dapat hilo permanente na itong paligo para makaiwas po tayo sa sakit.
Ginasuportaan ba nimo ning mga aksyon na nangahitabo sa inyo karon?
Okay. Ako po gawin na sa karaw basura pero karon ginalabay na ako sa karong basura.
Nganong naging conscious man ka sa kanang climate change na nahitabo karon?
Kay kuan man dako naman siya na kuan sige ra po ulan panag sa buinit lagi pero muulan man po dayon.
Gusto ba ka mutabang sa earth unsa man pud imo ang himuon?
Like pag kadalahi pagsipilit sa mga basura, pagtanong mga kahoy, pag labay basura, tapos pag hino sa palibot.
Magtanong ko sa mga kahoy para lamin ang atong matuyot na hangin. Kung ang mga basura na ako, di na ako paglabay, i-segregate na ako ang basura.
With the insights gathered from the youths who currently reside in Nabunturan, it is clear to see that they are some of the victims of climate change. Little by little, they try to mediate and avoid the impact of climate change. However, because of corporations' greenhouse gas emissions, CO2 production, and the use of non-renewable energy sources like fossil fuels, we still face a grave danger. There are some people who profit by indirectly, or in some cases, directly harming the environment, yet still actively refuse to make a change. As years go by, we do things to keep our ozone layer intact. We tried cutting down chlorofluorocarbons, also known as CFCs, but CFCs have been around during the 1930s, till it was banned in the mid-1970s. However, it can still be found in various appliances such as air conditioning, refrigeration, insulations, and packing materials. CFCs are not harmful to us humans, but the effects to the environment makes it worse. How can we contribute? How can we make a change? As the globe becomes increasingly concerned about climate change, owing to the negative consequences that may be witnessed not only internationally, but also regionally, nationally, and even locally, judging based off of the experience and actions Nabunturan made, let us all work bit by bit. Plant trees, conserve energy, anything that could help save Mother Earth. But most importantly, lend your ears and use your voice. Listen to credible people and sources when they talk about climate change. Use one's access to proper education as a means to help your community. Call out the corporations who still turn a blind eye to climate change. It is we who have to suffer for their damage. Let us heal and save our home while we still have the time. Together, let us all work hand in hand to save climate change. Tara't KLIMA'y iligtas. Dahil may pag-asa kung sama-sama.